Welcome back everybody to my channel, Survive and Thrive. Today I'm going to be talking more about cryptocurrencies and how I use these coins to help build my wealth within my portfolio. Now, if you know nothing about cryptocurrencies, you've probably at least heard of Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and some of these others that have been talked about in recent media and news. Blockchain technology, which is the basis for a lot of these cryptocurrencies, is starting to become a lot more prevalent and talked about in the mainstream media. We've seen even comments or quotes from Mark Cuban talking about blockchain and it being like the internet in the early days, where everybody thought we were crazy. And I know for a lot of you followers who are big into crypto or have been doing more research, you have a better understanding. And as you talk with other people in your lives, you can start to see that they don't embrace it nor understand it and won't have the same opportunities that we do to take advantage of this time. Really, a once in a lifetime chance. So today I'll be talking about my top 5 holdings and go a little bit more in depth on each coin type. As always, please make sure to do your own due diligence and research and really have an understanding of what the coin is or the project, what you think their true value or use is going to be either now or in the future. And if it's something that you really believe in, then you can invest. And that's where you increase your wealth. The cost basis of buying that coin in today's dollar and watching it increase over time. And with some of these coins, there's also a staking reward where you can get an APY or interest percentage back as you buy and hold these coins. Now, before we get into my portfolio for my cryptocurrencies and top holdings, I wanted to take a quick minute to talk about Coinbase. This is the exchange that I use for my portfolio for cryptocurrencies. It's the place where I buy and hold my coins. And I use the 2-step verification process. So any of the security settings that you can set up to protect your account, I would highly recommend that you take advantage of this. With the 2-step verification, you can use your Authenticator app, which in my case I use Google Authenticator, and it gives you a random code every time that you sign in. Now there is a checkbox here at the bottom. Don't ask me for the code again. I never check this. I don't want there to be accidental permissions granted for people who might get onto my computer and be able to access my account. And just to add on to this Coinbase exchange service, as I previously discussed in another video, this exchange does a great job of keeping your coin secure. They do a lot of storage that is not held within the exchange, and it's actually held offline. So it's one of the better, more trusted exchanges out there. And I'll put a referral link below where you purchase $100 of Bitcoin, we each get $10 of Bitcoin reward. So it's a win-win. Now let me get this set up and enter the verification code, and then we'll get started talking about each one of my top holdings. Now, as you can see, it prompts me to authorize a new device. Now, this typically comes up almost every time that I log in, regardless if I'm using the same computer for access. But I really like this added protection. And so I can go back to my email and hit that confirmation link, and then I'll get access. All right. As you can see, here's my crypto portfolio within Coinbase with my current portfolio balance. Now this is an account that I've been dollar cost averaging over the last 11 months, not quite a year. Works out to about $216 per week. And based on my cost basis, this account has more than doubled in value from what I paid for each coin and what the balance is currently worth for my overall portfolio. So not a bad investment. Now let's go into more depth of, as I mentioned, my top 5 holdings. I'll start with my lowest holding or percentage. 7.1% of my cryptocurrency is in Algorand, ALGO. As you can see, I've got just under 600 of these coins. I've been doing research over the past few months on this coin and saw that it had a lot of potential in opportunities for it being a frictionless finance option and the first pure proof of stake blockchain. If you go to their website, you'll see a lot of in-depth information on how they are developing this coin. And they've got a lot of high-level engineers involved that are really making strides with how this is going to be used and already looking at options of making it a true blockchain technology that will have a lot of future application and immediate use as well. Now, another great feature to Algorand, as you can see here in my staking reward summary, is that it has an APY of 6%. Now, with everything that you purchase with cryptocurrency, obviously the more coins that you own, the greater your reward for staking. This is one crypto that I believe has a high potential in the future and will have great increase in valuation, and is one that I plan to increase my overall percentage of holdings within my portfolio starting this year. Moving on into the number 4 holding of my top 5, Tezos, XTZ. I've got almost 8% within my portfolio, $744. The reason I really like Tezos, XTZ, is that it also has a staking reward component to it as well, which we'll look at the reward summary. The other aspect to XTZ or Tezos is that it is one of the blockchain technologies out there that has a self-governing by network user function, which does happen to fall into more of that category of decentralization and really putting the decision-making process into the user's hands. Taking a look at the reward summary for Tezos, that currently is earning me 4.63% APY. And as you can see, the longer I hold, the more I gain on the interest and increase my valuation for each of these coins. Number 3 on my list, XRP, also known as Ripple, 14.03%. I've got just under 2,900 of these coins, valued at $13.34. Now, as most of you know that have been doing any research with these cryptocurrencies or have investment, you know that XRP is currently untradeable and held up with a lawsuit with the SEC. Now, my belief is that this will help to provide a more crystal clear guidance on how cryptos should be viewed and how they are treated in terms of asset or security. What's really great about XRP is the transfer of currencies and the ability of this to multiply transactions very quickly at the rate of 1,500 per second. When compared to Ethereum, Ethereum's at 13 seconds for 1,500 transactions, and Bitcoin being at 10 minutes for those same 1,500 transactions. So you can really start to see how XRP is going to be a global leader in terms of not only transactions within each country and being able to do much quicker wire transfers at a much lower fee, but also inter-country currency transfers and increasing the ability or speed of time to currency exchanges very quickly and efficiently with a very low cost. Going into number 2 of my 5 holdings, Ethereum. This is one that most people are aware of. I've got just over $2,000 and just over 1 coin. The thing I really like about Ethereum is that it's a very well-known coin or blockchain technology that's out there based off of smart contracts. And it's able to run certain applications based off of this project type, as well as monetize for certain types of contract work. Ethereum is one that I think that will have a very big expansion, just like Bitcoin, and will have some very big jumps and increases, more so than it already has, and will continue to perform very well. And as you can see, this is 21.4% of my overall portfolio for crypto. The last or top holding of my 5, Bitcoin. As you can see, I've got $4,500, 0.07. As we all know, Bitcoin is very expensive nowadays, creeping to the 60K per coin mark. It is 47% of my portfolio, and a coin that I believe to be the next storage of wealth, like gold and silver has been in the past, and will be the new digital gold. I plan to keep dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, but I believe that I'm going to, with this particular account, start to make more of a focus on Ethereum and Algorand, and eventually XRP when the lawsuit gets figured out and we can start to trade again. Alright, so jumping back to the watch list here on Coinbase, I wanted to just quickly go through market capitalization for each respective coin that I just talked about in my top 5 holdings. I'll start at the bottom of the list, go down to Algorand. As you can see here, number 13 in the top cryptocurrencies, 2.9 billion in market cap, and currently trading at $1.14. Moving on to Tezos, they're number 5, 3.2 billion cap, and currently trading at $4.17. Number 3, Ethereum, 222 billion market cap, and currently trading at just under $2,000 per coin. XRP at number 2, 21 billion market cap, currently trading at 46 cents per coin. And this is definitely one that, if everything goes through as I hope it does, that I'll continue to buy into this one very heavy this year and increase my overall holdings. Lastly, Bitcoin, number 1, 1.1 trillion market cap. Pretty impressive to see where some of these other coins could be headed and go from billions to trillions in the very near future. As you can see, Bitcoin's currently trading at, like I mentioned, just over, well, now over 60K per coin. And I think it's got more room to grow. Now, if anybody's done any research on Moore's Law and how that applies to computing technology, it also relates in a lot of cases to what's happening with these cryptocurrencies, because these are digital computer-based coins that have a high level of computing involved. And there have been notable resources that talk about the future prospects of where Bitcoin in particular is headed. And I'll jump over to that article now and kind of just do a cursory summary to show you where the potential is. Now here's an article on Steemit that I found from 4 years ago. And as you can see here noted in the heading, according to Moore's Law, by 2021, Bitcoin will rise to $100,000 per coin. This was written 4 years ago, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for this year and if in fact this does become true. But as we can see, we're already at above 60K, and there's been a lot more institutional investors with MicroStrategy, Square, and a lot of these other institutions, as well as most recently Tesla, making a $1.5 billion purchase into Bitcoin and stating that Bitcoin can be used to make purchases of their vehicles. So we'll go down here further into the article and touch on some of the highlights of how Moore's Law applies to Bitcoin and how this is being further discussed. Dennis Porto, a Harvard scientist, believes that Bitcoin is subject to the same rule that applies to the entire digital world. That rule is Moore's Law. And when attached to the Bitcoin price, which is one of the most popular cryptocurrencies, as we all know, will double every 8 months over the next 3.5 years. And every 4 years, the ability to be able to mine or produce Bitcoin gets cut in half. So definitely a lot of scarcity with Bitcoin in particular. In parting for today, as I mentioned, look for those opportunities to diversify your portfolio. And even with cryptocurrency, as I mentioned, having about a 10% portion of my portfolio, I look within my crypto coin types and make sure that I have a diversification and not just have holdings in one type of coin to reduce the potential of risk of loss. I would really like to see if people would provide some comments on what they are doing with their own personal investments into crypto, which coins or projects they believe will have the most success, as well as using the comments section to really have a forum to exchange ideas about where our world is headed related to the new internet revolution. If you found any value in this video, as always, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified as new content is uploaded. So until next time, survive and thrive.